I think this one would be the one to wake up and eat me. Fits for a moody plant collection because it's very dramatic.
Look how beautiful.
A black succulent. Love dark, moody, goth houseplants. Me too. Today I'm taking you through my collection, the darkest, the moodiest, my favorite dark foliage. I'm going to rank them as we go, but I want you to rank them as well. Your number 10 to all the way to number 1. This is the time of year to do it. This is one of my favorite videos to make as well. I did one last year. I'll link it somewhere here. Let's go. First up, it is number 10 because it is the slowest growing dark plant. This is the Hoya krohniana black. Now, I showed this last year in my Goth Plant video collection, and it was very tiny. It's a little bigger now, but it's taken so long to get here. It's the slowest growing plant in my collection, which is shocking because Hoyas, this Hoya especially, is a fast growing Hoya, but this one's pretty slow for me. But look at that foliage. Isn't it dark and beautiful? I love it. I cannot wait for this to continue to grow and get bigger. And then the blooms in this, I feel it looks a little purpley. I cannot wait. I don't know why it's taking so long. I'm sure it's a me problem on this one because I must have underwatered it enough for it to stop growing. But this is the number 10 Hoya krohniana black. All right, for number 9, we're going to go to the living room. Okay, so here is my Solanum uleanum. And let me get into the terrarium so you can see it. Oh, there it is. It is so gorgeous and very, very beautiful, very dark. All right, I have you set up over here. This is my Solanum uleanum in the terrarium. It is doing really well, growing very slowly. I had a bigger plant of this and I chopped it. It seems to not officially like my house, but it actually likes the terrarium. This plant grew really quickly and very long, like a long vine. I would bet you if I put it on a trellis, it would look really good. But it is in a terrarium now and it seems to be pretty happy. So that is number 9 in my collection. It is number 9 because I can't touch it. I can't hold it. That is why it's number 9. It would be number 1 in my collection if I was able to have it in a plant pot like right here. But because it's in a terrarium, it's kind of far from my grasp and I can't really touch it. So that's why it's number 9. But it is a very beautiful dark plant. I love having it. It is my Philodendron micans, number 8 in my collection. This had to make it in my collection. I adore this plant. It had gone through some things last year, but it has been growing. Look at all this new growth. That is giving me excited. But yes, I was able to share this plant with a friend of mine, and this brought me so much joy because this is one of my favorite houseplants to have. It is because of the amazing, beautiful, dark foliage. It is a common plant, and you can probably get this at a garden center. Although I've never seen this at a garden center before, but if you don't have a Philodendron micans, I definitely recommend that you get one. Look how beautiful that foliage is. Yes, I love it. It is one of my favorites and number 8 in my collection. All right, number 7 is my Alocasia azlanii. The leaves come in so shiny and each leaf has gotten bigger. I've lost 2 leaves already, but this was one of the 3rd leaves that came in, and then this was the other one. Big change in size, and this one just came in. You can tell that it is still hardening off. It's still so shiny. Plant's been pretty easy. It is the only plant that's taken so well to pond. I don't really do alocasias in pond, but this one has taken really well. I even gave it a repot and it did not shock. So that's usually what happens with me and alocasias. After I give it a repot, it kind of go through something. Okay, so the back of it, there's a white outline on the leaves. Looks like a drawing. That is so gorgeous. I've never really noticed that before. The older one, the lines are a little bit more green, and this one's much lighter. Number 6 in my dark foliage collection is this one. This is a Pilea. It is the Pilea Dark Mystery. There's another name for it. I'll put it at the bottom. I already forgot what it is, but I bought this plant recently and I used part of it to plant for the terrarium, as you saw. But this is, look how unique this plant is. Love it. The dark Pileas are my favorite, and there is flowers already, and it is growing since I got it. This is kind of new right here. It is in a self-watering pot because with Pileas you want it to be evenly moist and it does not like to get dry. Okay, so number 5 in my collection does not look like much, but I promise you it is going to be beautiful. This is a black succulent. It is the Aeonium Black Rose. It is very beautiful. When I got this in my collection a month ago, it looked a lot better, but as the it did not ship too well, I lost a lot of leaves, and that's why it is looking like this. I've never seen a black succulent before. This is my first. And this succulent is very unique because it does not propagate through the leaves like other succulents. It propagates only through stem. So you can actually have a stem with just a rose and a stem that's just a stick, and it will propagate. So that's great. You just propagate straight in soil and it will do, and it will be fine. As this gets bigger, I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to grow up. The flowers, when it does bloom, it's yellow. It's going to be beautiful. Looking forward to seeing this plant grow. Have you seen a black succulent before? Because this was my first. Okay, so number 4 in my collection is the Begonia Pink Spot Maculata. I showed this plant last year as well, and it was so tiny when I showed it last year, and now it's so big. I actually have to prune it back, and I'm going to be pruning this back and putting it in pond. I'm going to be transferring my begonias to pond, and I'm looking forward to that. So this plant would do really well in pond because it is a thirsty plant. There'll be a lot of begonias that you're going to see, but this plant is very gorgeous. The back of the plant is also very beautiful. You know, this fits for a moody plant collection because it's very dramatic because it's a begonia. I have mine sitting all the way up on the shelf right over there, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it there. We'll see how it does for the rest of the cold season, but it's definitely getting pruned back. I want to say this is a fast grower now. It was a medium grower before, but it grows pretty fast, honestly, because it's a begonia. It's kind of doing a little hanging action, which I actually don't mind one bit. It's probably just chasing the light. I actually just chopped off this stem right here and gave it to someone because this stem was going straight towards the light. So yeah, it wants to grow to the light like all plants do. This one was my number 1 plant last year in dark foliage, and now it's not. Although it's the darkest. It is actually the darkest plant in my collection, and it's just not number 1, but it's number 3. This is the Pilea Dark Chocolate. I have featured this plant so much on my channel. It is one of my favorite Pileas. I actually have another one growing in here because these plants are so easy to propagate. This little stem cutting fell off while I was giving this a repot, and I just stuck it in here and it's growing. But yes, this plant is very easy in summer. I would suggest if you have this plant or thinking about getting it in summer or spring, it's good to prune it back, and then you're able to share the foliage or grow another plant. But it's really good to prune it back because sometimes it can get leggy, and when it does, it doesn't look great, and then some of the leaves get a little washed out. So I pruned this back in summer this year, and the foliage that grew back was so dark. It wasn't looking as dark before, but now it is completely dark. I just love that. Pileas are known as the friendship plant, and one of my favorite plants to give when somebody comes over or when somebody wants to trade. I probably will always put a pilea in the trade even though they didn't ask for it, because it's so easy to propagate, and when you do cut the plant back, it grows even more bushier. I love you. Oh, see, this has fallen off. We are going to propagate this in water. We'll just pop it in water. Okay, so number 2 in my collection. Oh, I'm so torn. I don't know. Number 2 and number 1. I'm kind of like torn, man. Maybe I need to do like 11. Maybe like 11 plants. But number 2 in my collection, I'll probably give you one more plant that's not on the list, but I see it and I want to share it. Okay, so number 2 is shockingly this one. This could have easily been the number 1 plant, but it is number 2. It is my Begonia ferox. This amazing looking specimen right here. Look at it. I love it. It is kind of one of my favorite begonias, and it needs a repot, and I will be doing that soon. I don't know if I'm going to transfer this one to pond. This one is going to grow in a longer pot because it is a crawler. It just finished flowering. It's coming to an end. I wonder if I can ever cross this plant with something else. That would be extremely fun to do. But yes, this plant has been a joy to have in the cabinet right here. I don't think I would want to grow it out of the cabinet. Maybe if I decide to do that, it would be in late spring and to see how it does, because once winter comes, the humidity drops so much. I wouldn't want to put this plant through that, but that's why I have a cabinet right there. So I'm able to grow plants all year round. It looks like a new shoot might be growing from this part over here. This one doesn't get as thirsty as much, and I'm sure it's because it's in the cabinet. That's probably why. But yeah, when it gets thirsty, I do just give it a water, and I've just not had to deal. It's a pretty easy plant. I don't really, this doesn't scare me. It's actually, maybe it should scare me, because looking at my plants, I think this one would be the one to wake up and eat me because it's spooky looking. Spooky plant collection. This is the spookiest of my dark foliage. It is a pretty easygoing plant, so definitely don't ever be afraid of it. I wouldn't want that for you. It is spooky and amazing. Because this is my collection, I'm going to show you like a 2.5 because I wanted to share this one and I just didn't get a chance because it wasn't number 10, but 2.5. This is the Hoya caudata Sumatra. I absolutely love this crusty, dusty plant. The foliage is very leathery and looks very, very prehistoric. Now, the blooms on this is so beautiful. And the good thing about this plant is that it blooms ongoing. Surprisingly, it's not blooming now, but that's because it just finished blooming. The blooms does not last long. I'll put a picture of what the blooms look like, but it's the most fuzziest Hoya flower you've ever seen. Yeah, a very easygoing plant, and it stays in my cabinet because I think it appreciates a higher humidity, and it actually needs a water. Why am I not surprised? We're going to give this a water now. Okay, so the number one plant in my collection that is the darkest foliage plant is this amazing looking begonia. It is the Begonia Black Magic. Let me move you for you can get better light. That's better light. This is, oh wow. Yeah, that lighting is better. Look at this amazing foliage. There is not a dried leaf on this plant at all. And you know why? It is in a self-watering pot. This is what I should have done with all my begonias. I did have them in a self-watering pot, but I just didn't have a big enough self-watering pot. Now I do. I should transfer them, but they're all going to semi-hydro. This one is, let's see if there's roots sticking out at the bottom. There is not roots sticking out at the bottom yet, which is good. I'm going to keep it in a self-watering pot until I need to transition it. It is going to eventually go into pond, but as of right now, this plant is so happy and it is one of my favorites. It is number one of the dark foliage and also my top favorite plant in the plant room. It's just growing and thriving fantastically. I'm just, I love this plant. Look at it. It has grown up so much. Okay, so when I bought this plant, I shown it on a repot video. I'll see if I can find footage, but it kind of like it grew like 7 inches or 8 inches since I got it. And the leaves, I swear, they're just getting bigger and bigger and darker. This is what the back of it looks like. Stunning. Number one dark foliage plant in my collection. Would you label this as the number one plant? Because for me, this is number one. That is it for my dark foliage goth plants that I have. I have more, but these are just 10 that I wanted to share. And let me know how you rank them, because my ranking is definitely to my taste. The number 10 plant was the Hoya krohniana Black, and the number one plant was the Begonia Black Magic. Now, would you have rated my plants the same? Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Tell me some of your dark foliage plants that I don't have, because I'm going to collect more. Next year in spring, I'm looking forward to finding some more dark foliage plants. Thank you so much for hanging out and looking at my dark foliage in my plant room. Enjoy the rest of your day. Always remember that you are loved. You guys want to see more plants that I didn't show in the previous minutes of the video? Let's go take a look at some of the plants that I didn't show, but they're still dark. Little bonus. Some plants that I didn't show, but if you stayed all the way here, I'm going to show it anyway. This is the Hoya Ganungading Grading. Look how beautiful and dark those leaves are. Yeah, but it's just not happy, which is why I didn't share it. But look at these leaves. Beautiful. It needs a water. Am I surprised about that? I am not. And guess what I have right here in case while I'm showing these plants, I'm also watering. This is something that happens sometimes in my videos. Aren't you glad you stuck around for this? All right, so another plant that I didn't share, but I could have shown is, this is my Begonia bavarosa. It is beautiful and dark and lovely. I shared it last year. It's just not really it's not happy. So because it's just not happy, I just didn't share it. But I'm sharing it now to those who stayed. This one is added to the dark plant collection. Look at the back. Love it. Love this plant. There is another version of this. It is the red. So this is like a deep pink color, pink and black, but there's a red version and it's way more pricey. I don't need that one. I'm happy with what I have. Okay, so another plant that I could have shared, but I didn't because it's just so common. It is the Alocasia cuprea, and it's just, this is how it's growing. It's not doing great. It's not very happy. So I didn't share it, but I'm sharing it now. This leaf is not really dark, but this leaf is nice and dark. I want to have really beautiful foliage of this plant, but it just doesn't like me. All right, I'm going to share another Hoya, and this is the Hoya thomsonii as a dark foliage. It's fuzzy and dark. Oh my gosh, look how cute. I just gave this a repot in one of my videos, and the leaves, when it comes in, it is very dark and beautiful, and the leaves are dark green. So it doesn't really fit the dark foliage plants, but I'm going to add it in here. Okay, officially finished. Thanks for watching. Bye. All right, goodbye.
Peace out.